I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk to folks from the VTuber community about their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Yuuki, welcome to the show. Introduce yourself to everybody, please.
Hey, my name's Yuuki. I am a relatively new VTuber. My model is a fox. I don't really have any lore at the moment. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I just started here in late November, and I'm excited to be here.
You got started off the year with a 24-hour stream, did you not?
Yeah, it was pretty quick after I started. I got a hold of a 2D model right into the end of the year, and we jumped right into a 24-hour stream with Corruption.
Yeah. And have you recovered from that as of now?
Yeah, it took a bit. I actually ended up having to leave the 24-hour stream a bit early, just because I was not feeling well.
Yeah.
So I didn't get as much as Sin did. But yeah, I think I've recovered as of now.
Hey, you're still young. You should be able to do a few of those.
Yeah.
When you get older, 24 hours might be like an entire month you might be able to get in. But the fact is, you're able to get off to an awfully good start. And how are things going right now for you in the channel?
So far it's been good. Recently, I've had some crazy things happening life-wise. You know, I moved halfway across the country, so I haven't been able to stream as much as I'd like to.
Right.
But now I'm getting situated here in my new home, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get back to streaming probably 4 or 5 times a week here soon.
What are you going to be streaming? What type of games, content? What are you going to do?
I'm mostly a variety streamer. I do basically anything and everything, whatever people are interested in at the time. Most of my channel's content is collabs with other friends playing things like Minecraft. Just really whatever's happening at the time. Lethal Company was a big one for a while. I started my channel streaming the LSPDFR mod for GTA 5. And I still do that here and there, as well as some Persona 5 Royal for my solo stuff.
Well, my wife and I did some GTA back in the PlayStation day, and all we did was run around blowing things up. After a while, we just this is too hard to keep going. Let's just blow some stuff up. What does that mod do to the game?
So LSPDFR is a mod pack that it's essentially it turns GTA 5 into a police simulator. You act as a police officer, and there are other plugins and mods that you can add to increase realism in the game.
Right.
And like for one that I always like to use is one that allows me to actually verbally speak with dispatch. It's very helpful. It does a lot for realism.
That's an inside joke between us, by the way. talking to dispatch. The fact is that if folks out there don't know where I work, but if Yuuki and I were in the same city, we'd be working in the same building at the time I first got a hold of you. The other games that you play, the Lethal Company game, which has been just massive for people streaming and massive in the VTube community. So what do you like to do with that? Do you like to get as many people as possible, or do you try to limit to who you have on there?
So personally, I like having a lot of people with me, but at the same time, I try to limit myself to 4 to 6 people. One, because a lot of people, a lot of different voices talking at once can be a little overwhelming, especially when streaming.
Right.
But also just because my computer, the mod that you need for Lethal Company to play with more than 4 players, every now and then it doesn't really work very well with more than 4 players. And the more people you add to it, the more glitchy it gets. So
yeah, that's one game you don't want any glitches. You don't want any slowdown. There's some places where you want to be going as fast as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and as far as collaborations go, did you find that when you got started hard to get into, or was it easy for you to dip your toe into that?
I think starting out it was difficult just because my personality, at least starting out, I feel like I've definitely grown since then, but starting out, my personality was very much like I wanted to do solo content, and I didn't really, I wasn't really interested in interacting with a lot of people. But, after a while, I made some friends in the VTuber community, and we started doing collabs, and I became a lot more open of a person. And now, if I'm not doing a collab, I feel like there's something missing in the stream almost.
Did the VTubing help you kind of open up your personality that way?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I imagine that's done that for a lot of people, and one of the things I found really interesting about VTubing as a whole is people who consider themselves, and so far a lot of people I've talked to consider themselves introverts, yet they're on a platform with the potential audience of the entire planet.
Yeah,
And it doesn't seem like it makes sense, but for anybody who's held a microphone at any time of their life, they know it's a different story when you're not standing in front of the people, and it's imagine even different, more different when you are kind of using an avatar or a model. Do you find that's the case?
yeah. I think it's easier to be a little more extroverted whenever you aren't interacting with your physical appearance. Using the model has definitely helped me be more open with people, I guess. Uh, I definitely don't know that I'd be as comfortable streaming with my face right away for a bunch of people I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It does provide you that little extra anonymity. Not so much that there isn't that it's a completely different character because it's still you doing it, but it does give you kind of a little bit of leeway to act up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's good for a lot of reasons. Some folks, I am positive because of the number of people involved. If their workplace found out about what they were doing, they might not be all that happy about it.
Yeah, it would definitely be interesting. After moving up here, I'm in a different career now,
Right.
and uh, for those that don't know, I'm very open with like my life and everything. But right now I'm working for asset protection for a large company,
Hmm.
a large retail company, and so I might every now and then mention stories of like shoplifting incidents where I've caught someone,
Right.
and you know, the company definitely wouldn't be very happy about me sharing those incidents. But the added anonymity of not using my face and name definitely helps me feel more comfortable sharing my fun stories with my friends without having to worry about repercussions from work.
Yeah, and the other way around too. I mean, you don't really want your coworkers necessarily to know exactly what you're doing when you're not at work all the time. Uh,
Exactly.
and then you kind of end up having to um, the old pro wrestling term was kayfabe people as to try to get, well, that's not me, that's somebody else, and it really gets into a mess. Better just to keep them apart as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's just easier to do it that way. Well, when you head into this new year, I know you got started with the long stream. Now that you've got your move pretty much done, what are your goals going to be as you get further into the year?
Um, I feel like this far I've already built a pretty solid community. I'm very happy with what I've got.
Right.
Um, I guess I would say my goal for this coming year would just be to see how far I can take it, see how large of a community I can build, how many people I can reach. Um, I definitely want to. I want to be a person that you can come to after a long day's work and just relax. Uh, that's definitely the air that I want to build in my streams.
But it certainly is a good foundation to build from anyway, because you get that core people who have been there from the beginning, and people who have who know that you're in it because you enjoy it as well. Not just you're enjoying what you're doing online, but you're also enjoying interacting with those people as well, and they know you're enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. I That's like my favorite thing about streaming. You'll notice if you are watching my stream sometime where I'll be like standing still, not really interacting much with the game as much if my chat is lively and I've got people to talk to. My first priority is and has always been chat and to talk to my community. I've got some interesting people to talk to there, and with the limited amount of time that I have to stream, I want to take as much of that time as possible to talk with my viewers, my friends, and it's a good time.
It certainly is that, and while some people look at it as another job or a means to an end, sometimes it's just an escape, and that is worth a lot in itself.
Absolutely, yeah. I've met some of my closest friends, and that's saying something. I've only been streaming since November. I've met some of my closest friends doing streaming stuff, and just working with other VTubers.
Yeah, and it's funny to see the friendships that develop, people that you normally would never ever even know, maybe on the other side of the planet, maybe across the street, but maybe on in a completely different country. Maybe that's English isn't their first language, yet here you are able to turn on your computer and interact with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got several viewers from that are not from the same country as I am, and uh, we we have a lot of fun with that, talking about cultural differences and things like that. Uh, a couple of viewers come to mind with that, and part of the reason I've moved so far very recently was actually because of one of the fellow VTubers I met after starting. Um, she's recently, say recently, or middle to late November, I made a stronger relationship. I found a girlfriend through this community,
Well,
and I ended up moving out here to where she is.
yeah. Well, it sounds like you already won. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll find
exactly.
we'll find out whether she won or not later on. Now that's up to you. You got to keep up your end now as far as that goes. But
Yeah,
but again, this is the type of story that really only happens through a medium like this, and there's only one medium like this, and that's VTubing.
absolutely.
It, it's really an amazing thing to me. Now, we've talked about a lot of the positive things with it. Has there been anything that has affected you on the downside as far as toxic people coming in, collaborations that didn't go well, anything like that?
I don't think I've had a bad collaboration. I think everyone that I've worked with so far, I've kept pretty close, and I think, at least from my perspective, we're all still really good friends. Um, as far as toxic, there's going to be toxic viewers in every community, and it's just one of those things where I try to keep a tight hold on that kind of thing, and I try to keep my community as clean as possible. So if if I have had something like that, I've gotten rid of it pretty quickly. Um, I think I had one instance where a viewer was talking badly about someone I was collabing with, and I had to remove them from my stream. But uh, that, like I said, that's with every community. You're going to have people like that. That's just how it is being in the public eye.
Well, yeah, it was that way in radio too. I mean, if you have a talk show and you'll have somebody who calls up every 5 minutes and just tries to make the show about them. and I've seen that happen to
Oh,
some folks online too. It's not their show; it's your show.
hmm
And you got to put your foot down and take a hold of it, because if you lose control, you've lost control that of at least that broadcast anyway.
yeah,
And you've really opened the door for other people to do the same thing, and when you really want to nail that door shut as quickly as possible. But sounds like you've got a pretty good hold of that, and you know how to shut them off pretty quick. You've seen the warning signs anyway of something
yeah.
that may be coming in the future, as far as that goes. With the games that you've been able to play so far, are there any games on the horizon you want to try here in the new year?
Um, I haven't really thought too much about branching out. I've been enjoying the games that I've been playing. I didn't mention earlier, but a big one is that I've been playing a lot of has been Phasmophobia.
Mm-hmm.
My goals, game-wise at least, is to get just as far into games like Phasmophobia as possible. I want to like raise my levels there before I really try branching out any. But of course, at the same time, if something really big and interesting looking comes out, I'm always open to try new games.
Yeah, and if it's something that you enjoy playing, the audience will realize that too, and they've got to be interested in it as well. They're not just going to tune in and kind of sit there for the most part. They want to know that you're interested in the game and you're enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I tell you about Phasmophobia. My stepdaughter, she's big into haunted houses and such. And I showed her this game. I said, oh, you'd be into it for sure. She saw one person play it, and it was too much for her. She was like, no, I'm not doing that. But I've seen people really lose it on that game.
Yeah, and Phasmophobia has a VR version as well.
Oh, no.
And I've tried playing the VR version, and it is a whole nother level. The PC version I can handle. I cannot do the VR version.
No, horror games are not something for me to start with, but you get me in VR with something like that going on, and I'd be crying for my mama very quickly. That wouldn't. I have no qualms telling people that because they would see it very quickly. You do a lot of the shoot 'em up games.
I have here and there. Towards the beginning of my streaming career, I did a lot of Apex.
Yeah.
Just because that's what other friends of mine were streaming.
If you
so I would join in on that.
If you've done anything with corruption, you shot a few things. She likes those shoot 'em ups.
First shooter games. Yeah. Most of my collabs with Sin have been Minecraft related, though.
Yeah. I know Minecraft seems to be something I've never. My grandson is into Minecraft. He's got all these wonderful things built. The only thing I've been able to do is to kick a sheep till it dies. That's really the only thing I've been able to do with Minecraft. But to see the young folks get involved in it, and not get involved heavily in storylines, but in other types of things. And the what had started as a fairly simple game turned into just a monster. And still to this day, people will tune in to VTubers playing this game that's how many years old now? Older than some of the VTubers.
Oh yeah. It's older than I am for sure. I remember being in first or second grade wanting to play Minecraft. My parents wouldn't buy it for me. And I remember one of the things my dad told me was, you don't need to get into this game right now because it's not going to last very long. And he told me, because I told him, just wait until I'm, old enough to have a job. I'll go buy it myself. And he told me, he's like, it's not going to be around that long. I promise you, it's going to be dead and gone long before you're a teenager. And here it is. I'm, 22 years old almost, and it's still going strong.
He didn't buy any stock in the company, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
bought some stock back then, you'd own all of Minecraft. But it's great talking to you, and 20 minutes has flown by with you, and I really do appreciate it. You're one of the first folks that reached out to us and to come on the program, and I will always be grateful for that. We'll get you on again soon once you're settled in for sure, and you get some things going. If you have any special events coming up, any 48-hour streams or anything like that, you call me and I'll try to talk you out of it. But if you've got anything coming up, let us know. We'll get you back on again here soon. For folks who want to watch Yuuki in action, how can they do that?
All of my links are on my Twitter. I don't have anything gathered real nicely yet, but I can send you my Discord server link if you're not already in there.
Yeah, and we'll get that on. It'll be located right under the video on YouTube once we get it up. Again, Yuuki, appreciate it, and we'll get you on again soon. Thanks for coming on the program.
Yeah, I had a good time. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.